Yes, please.
Yes.
Yeah, started live also. Myself, Sumant Kelam. I am the young volunteer and proud volunteer of NARI'S healthcare organization. And today's workshop is on menstrual hygiene. This program is conducting by FOXY, Sexual Medicine Committee, and NARI'S healthcare organization in association with Pratisandhi. Yeah, I am on this note, I wanted to introduce our host, Dr. Shama Sultana. Dr. Shama Sultana is a young and enthusiastic and cheerful obstetrician and gynecologist, as well as infertility consultant. She is the chairman and co-founder of Hopewin Hospitals and also working as gynec consultant at Star Hospital, Guntur. She did her PG diploma in assisted reproductive techniques from Kiel University, Germany, and fellowship in basic ultrasound endoscopy from FOXY. Also, she has colposcopy expert training from Delhi Gynec Forum. She has been a speaker femicide in Community Connect program on preventable women's healthcare held in May 2021. She is an active member in Sexual Medicine Committee, FOXY, and sub-editor in Dr. Parag Patel's Awareness e-newsletter. She has also served as a faculty and a moderator for Open Forum Awareness on Adolescent Sexual Health organized by POGS in June 21. She is a founder of NARI'S healthcare organization. Please welcome ma'am, Dr. Shama Sultana ma'am, and please take the session. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Suman, for the introduction. So I want to request you to play YNHC video. So this is NARI'S healthcare, and we have this for adolescent and young women, and they have a lot of dreams in their journey, but in their journey they need to have a lot of courage, determination, dedication, and focus, and also health. So for this, but they are surrounded by a lot of problems, health related problems. For this, we have organized this NARI'S healthcare organization, so that we have a lot of programs, online webinars, health related, offline, online workshops, so that our goal is to reach whole India in 10 years with all your support. And I want to do this session with Pratisandhi because I was following Pratisandhi since years, 1 or 2 years from now, and I was very much impressed with the work they are doing, with the workshops they are doing. And today's our speaker is Yogita Gurnani, one of the youngest speaker of Pratisandhi. And Pratisandhi, as I want to tell you, it is one of the organization for sexual education founded by Niyati Sharma, and she has recognized that there is absence of sexuality education at the age of 17 years only in one of the exchange program. She recognized and she started this, and as she felt there is the absence of sexuality education in public spaces for Indian teenagers and young adults, with support from her parents and a few friends and a passion to resist stigma, she set up an online platform where young Indians could talk unabashedly about their sexual well-being without the fear of log kya kahenge. So the title Digital Space Setup in March 2017 would become the beginning of flourishing non-profit organization fully driven for and by the youth. A space where moral policing has no room in the face of holistic education. So today Pratisandhi is 100 plus members standing with it and with the support and of national and international partners as well. And they support and in India in making informed decisions and reclaiming agency of their sexual and reproductive health. And I'm really impressed that they have organized 150 plus workshops and empowered thousands of individuals. And also, as our topic menstrual hygiene, they have distributed 40,000 plus sanitary products so far. So thank you so much to join with us with this topic. And I hand over the session to Yogyata Gurnani for the further progress of menstrual hygiene. Please throw us some light on menstrual hygiene, which is so important. Thank you.
Yes, so I really agree with you that it is utmost important. Still, we tend to look over it at times. And thank you so much for such an amazing introduction.
Thank you.
Now, can I present my screen?
Yes, please
Yes,
share
yes,
your.
please.
Just a second. So, is my screen visible? Yes.
Yes, it's visible.
All right. So, hello everyone. I am Yogita Gurnani and I've come here on behalf of the Pratisandhi Foundation, which works for raising awareness towards sexual health and reproductive health of women and adolescent girls. And today I'm going to be talking about menstrual health and management. So, basically, what I feel is the most important thing that I would like to address is our first menstrual experience. If I share mine, I remember it was so daunting because I was in school and suddenly I felt a sensation. I went to the washroom and I realized that I'm bleeding and I was so freaked out because I did not realize why, because I had not hurt myself. So I went to my nurse and she told me that, this is when you're attaining womanhood and this is a process called periods, and she gave me a pad with instructions on how to use it, but I was so nervous that it took me a lot of time. And I wish that I had been told about periods earlier. Like in our books it is mentioned when we are in 8th, and many girls, they have it at the age of even 10. And unfortunately, I had it that early and I had no clue on what to do about it. So I wish that we had been educated more thoroughly about periods. Then now let's understand what is menstruation. So basically, menstruation, that is our periods, it is when blood comes out of our vagina, and this is because our uterus, it starts shedding this wall that it has made for the arrival of a fertilized egg from our ovaries. And when the egg is not fertilized, then the need of this wall, it goes away. That's why the uterus starts shedding this wall in the form of blood, and it comes out of our vagina, right? So right in the slide you can see that if the egg is not fertilized, then the uterus starts shedding its walls, and this is the diagram showing the reproductive system of a woman. Next, it is a very strong myth that all of us have, is that a woman becomes a female only when she has her periods. But that is not true, because the definition of a menstruator are people who menstruate. That's it. Because there are women who do not menstruate, and there are people who menstruate, but they are not women. So it is important to remember the definition that menstruators are the people who menstruate, because then it includes transgender men and non-binary people as well. Now the question arises, when do periods start and when do they end? So periods, they generally start for people from the age of 10 to 19. And this stage is known as menarche. And at this point of time, we also, see certain physical and emotional changes happening to us, which are completely normal. And this stops during the age of 40 to 50 generally. And this stage is known as menopause. And one thing to keep in mind, which is most important, is that it varies from person to person. So it is completely normal if you do not come in this range. Next, the menstrual cycle phases. Well, I was very curious to know that why do I bleed on some random or fixed days of the month, and how does my body know that this is the time of the periods? So basically, our body goes through 4 phases during the whole month. From days 1 to 7, we have our menstruation, that is our periods. Then comes from the days 8 to 11, the follicular phase, in which the blood and the tissues, they start making the walls of the uterus in hopes of getting a fertilized egg from the ovary. On the other hand, the ovary also starts producing an egg at this point of time. Then comes ovulation, which is the phase in which the egg from the ovary, it travels through the fallopian tube to reach our uterus. And then comes the luteal phase, in which if the egg is fertilized, then the girl becomes pregnant. But if it is not fertilized, then the uterus once again starts shedding its lining. Then it is very important, and I cannot emphasize more on this fact, that we need to keep a track of our cycle, because it tells us when we can have our next periods. It can also help doctors diagnose if we are having symptoms of any menstrual disorders that I'll talk about aage. Then why should we keep a track of a menstrual cycle? This is because if the periods are regular, then we know when we are ovulating, when we are more likely to get pregnant, or when to expect our next periods to start. And if they are not regular, we can keep a track of them and then share our problems. And it can also be helpful to know if we are missing school or work, because the period pain is so unbearable at times. And how can you keep a track? It is very simple. You can either mark it on your calendar or write it in a personal diary. And these days on smartphones, there are various number of apps that help you track your periods. And the things that you should be tracking are how heavy or light is your flow. Are your periods later than you expected or earlier than that? And how much of the symptoms like cramming, headaches, moodiness are you feeling? Then what menstruation feels like? I think that the pain during menstruation, at times it does become unbearable for me. But there are other physical symptoms such as bloating. You can gain weight, so there is no need to worry if you are gaining weight during your periods. It is completely normal. Like, I have a lot of food cravings, especially for sweets during this time. Then there is also skin problems, like you might have acne or pimples on your skin, and it is completely normal to have that. Then there are also emotional symptoms such as moodiness, short temper, lack of concentration, nervous tension, and all of this is completely normal. So there is no need to stress out about this. Now, what is premenstrual syndrome? PMS. So this is basically the emotional and the physical symptoms that some of the people feel right before or during their periods. And this is just because of the hormonal changes that our body is going through during periods, because this is something new. Our body is also adjusting to periods. So it is completely fine if you feel any disbalance at this point. And there are two kinds of PMS symptoms, one that affect us physically and one that can affect us emotionally. Now, how to relieve PMS? For that, you can take over-the-counter pain medicine or talk with your doctor or a pharmacist before taking it. You can do light exercises such as walking, riding a bike, etc., or even yoga is helpful. Even meditation makes you feel better. And sleep is the most important at this point. So make sure that you're getting your regular 8-hour sleep and eat healthy food. You should avoid caffeine at this point, limit alcohol, and limit fat as well as sugar. And make sure that you have more vitamins and food that are more rich in iron in your diet at this time. Now, there are certain situations in which you might feel that you need to go to a doctor. They can be if you're having regular periods, but then they become irregular, or if you stop getting your periods, or if you feel that there is extra growth on your face, chin, etc. Or if your periods, they last longer than 7 days, or if they are delayed or come earlier than more or less 7 days, then you can go to a doctor. Or if you're feeling you have severe cramping or abdominal pain, then because of this, the doctor can diagnose some of the menstrual disorders that generally are associated with these symptoms. And this is basically because due to hormonal imbalances, sexually transmitted infections, or maybe polycystic ovary syndrome, or it can just be due to genetics as well. Then how are menstrual disorders diagnosed? So it is not a very daunting process, so you don't have to be nervous when you're consulting a medical specialist for it, because they basically ask you about your history, especially your physical history, which can be how much pain you're feeling, or how long your periods lasted, or other things that are related to it, or like how has it been for the past 3 months. And if they want further details about it, then they might ask you to get an ultrasound done or a blood test done. Now, most of the menstrual disorders, they are treated from lifestyle changes, such as, for example, if you have PCOS, then they would suggest that you exercise every day, at least 5 days a day are must. And you should be avoiding caffeine and make some minor lifestyle changes, which can help you out. And in very rare cases, do doctors suggest surgery when you're having menstrual disorders. So you do not have to be worried about that. And that is why I will reiterate my point that do keep a track of your cycle. Only then it will be easy for doctors to diagnose what kind of problems you're going through. Then comes the question, how should you interact with someone on their periods? The answer is super easy. Treat them like a normal person. Periods is not a disease. So you don't have to be cautious or be insensitive towards them. Yes, you can be a little sensitive or accommodative towards the pain they might be feeling or the moodiness, but overall, you should be treating them like a normal person. Period products. So some of the period products that are available to us, the most common is pads. Now, pads, the advantages of pads is that they're easily available and they're the most popular used item during our periods. But the disadvantage is that they have to be changed frequently. They are not good for heavy bleeders and they're not environmental friendly. Then comes tampons. So tampons are also a period product that you can use. And with tampons, it is important to keep a check on your flow. And then the disadvantage of a tampon is that you have to change it in 6 to 8 hours, and you always have to take it out before you go to sleep. Then comes menstrual cups. Menstrual cups are also things that you can insert in your vagina, and they soak up the blood. So the problems that comes with menstrual cups at times is the insertion problem, or that they might not fit your size, or you don't know how to use them initially. For that, I would like to play a video which tells how a person can use menstrual cups.
People who menstruate use up to 17,000 sanitary pads or tampons in their lifetime. One sanitary pad costs just over 2 rand. People could spend up to 40,000 rand on pads throughout their lives. A menstrual cup is another way to deal with your period. It's flexible and made of rubber or silicone. Wash your hands to prevent spreading bacteria. Fold the menstrual cup in half. Some people fold it into a C shape. Insert the cup into your vagina just like a tampon. Wait for the cup to pop open. Use your finger to check if the cup is fully unfolded. A menstrual cup can be used for 12 hours. The number of times you have to empty the cup depends on its size and your menstrual flow. There are small and large sizes. You can order a cup online for 300 Rand. It lasts for about 3 to 5 years. Wash your hands to avoid spreading germs. Place your index finger and thumb into your vagina. Carefully pull the stem of the cup until you reach the base. Grip the base of the cup and pinch it. This will release the suction. Empty the cup in the sink or toilet and rinse it with water. The cup should be emptied at least twice a day. Wash your cup with warm water. Use unscented water-based soap. Menstrual cups should be washed and wiped clean before being reinserted into your vagina.
Right. Just a second. Right. So now I'm sure all of us have heard some myths, or I'll say so-called facts about periods. Like, for example, you cannot go to the kitchen, you cannot go to pray, or you cannot play at that point of time. Or I've even heard that I should be sleeping alone at that point of time, and I should not be talking to my guy friends, or not being telling them that I am not well right now, or even in school. So first myth that I've heard is a period is something that should always be private. Now, this is something that is completely your personal choice, but I would definitely suggest discussing it with at least your mother or your gynecologist, so that if you're having any problems, any symptoms of a menstrual disorder, they'll be a better guide to tell you about it, or to suggest you lifestyle changes that you might need at this point of time. So it is your personal choice, but do share it with the people who can help you out during this time. Next, I've heard that it is not okay to work out or play sports during periods. Now, this has hurt me because I love dancing. And at this point of time, I'm always told, sit down, you're not going to dance because it will make your flow heavier, or it will disrupt your period cycle. But let me tell you, there is no scientific basis to this. Yes, if you're feeling too much pain, then it's okay to rest and not work out, but it is completely your personal choice if you feel like playing at this point of time. And I would suggest light activities such as walking at this point, because it takes away your attention from the pain. So yeah, it does make you feel a bit better. Then the period blood is dirty, or it is contagious, or I heard this myth when initially all my friends had periods, and when one of us had periods, I was told by my other friends, do not go near her, it is contagious, it also get you, as if it's a disease. So period blood is not at all dirty. It is a part of our body only, and it is just the shedding of the uterus wall. So there is nothing dirty about it. Then women should not be cooking or praying during periods. This does not have any scientific basis to it, and it completely depends on your religious beliefs and on your choices. If you wish to visit the worship place, you can, but no one can take away your religious rights just because you're on your periods. Now, the last topic, but not the least, it is very important that if you're using a pad, you should change it after every 6 hours, and keep your reproductive parts clean. But it is very important to know that you should not be douching. That is, clean inside the vagina. Only clean the vulva with water. And change your menstrual cups at least every 8 to 12 hours. Always keep a check on your flow and sterilize the menstrual cup before using. The tampons should be changed in every 4 to 8 hours, and daily baths are very important. And you should dispose of your menstrual products hygienically and ethically, because as we all know that pads are not environmental friendly. So do not flush them in the toilet, because it can get the pipelines blocked. So cover them in a newspaper or wrap them in a plastic bag and then throw them, but do not flush them away. And this is the end of my presentation. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you, Yogita. It was so refreshing talk on menstrual hygiene, and the facts and myths were the highlight. And as you said, and every time you're yourself giving a personal this thing touch is really mesmerizing, because the youth will surely want to know what happening to other peers. So yeah, thank you so much for this presentation. Hope it is very, very helpful for our youngsters. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you.
Yeah. For suppose we have any questions, we will be forwarding you.
Yes.
If we get any mails and all, hopefully we will surely answer those mails. We will forward it to you. Okay. Thank you
Yes.
so much.
Thank you.